Breaking news. Just the Mystic has gone missing. Repeating, Just the Mystic has gone missing. If you have seen this man, please call this number. Please call this number. Stay safe. Stay indoors. And God bless you. Hello, what's up? Just a Mystic. You know, I'm actually gonna switch off my light at this point. What's up, video? If it's not scary. Ow! Dang it. One second. Video could be scary without the lights being off. Actually, one sec, I got a better idea. There we go, that's better. Sorry. Oh, I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe the lack of sleep. Who knows? Anyway, we're back to doing Friday night. Friday night funking. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I don't think I took my pills. But yeah. Now it's time. Freaky Friday. So let's get it. So I remember when I watched this video, it was around here. So let's get it.
You and your minions go hang out somewhere else! Then what? Miss out on all the fun you're giving us? Not a moment too soon, he pushed me so hard that I lost my balance, falling into the tall, dangerous water slide. Ah! As I made it to the end of the slide, I instantly submerged into the water and struggled to stay afloat. Help! Somebody help! I struggled in the water, but no one paid attention. The music was so loud that no one could hear me scream for help, and everybody was in party mode, too drunk to notice an emergency. Moments later, one of the floaters came close enough for me to hold on to. And then I paddled my feet until I reached the gutter and got myself out of the water. After that, I looked straight ahead and saw my cousin giggling as he high-fived his buddies. I knew this would happen. I was full of
music,
regret.
let's go. Come on. The freak is this? His airport's shut down.
Where are you?
That's better. Oh my days.
Right after I put Sarah to bed, I went extremely rude. At some point,
Bro, so you're just gonna do that?
I did everything possible to avoid my cousin and his group of obnoxious teenagers. And so, I bought a life jacket and kept it on at all times, just in case they ever found me again and decided to pull off another cruel trick. And then, moments later, I reached the wave pool, which simulated actual waves produced at sea. Again, it was the last place I wanted to be, but when I saw my cousin and his friends wandering around, my heart pounded fast, and I was afraid they'd do something so terrible that I could lose my life. So, when I had a few options left, I took advantage of blending into the crowd who were in the pool and held on to one of the donut floaters. However, as soon as I got in, I couldn't tell which was worse, being bullied by those ruffians or holding on to dear life amidst the waters I feared so much. As large waves approached, I shut my eyes and braced for impact, while the muscles in my body constricted. But despite being surrounded by several people, I could see my evil cousin hop in the pool and approach my direction. What the hell is his problem? Why can't he just leave me alone? I hate him. We both locked eyes as he made long strides towards my direction. Then, all of a sudden, I was no longer bashed by waves. Instead, I felt a deadly suction force pulling my legs. At first, I thought it could have been my cousin or any of his friends trying to give me a good scare. But what happened next turned out to be my worst nightmare. entire body towards the center was 2 times stronger than the Earth's gravitational pull. So, as I glanced at the people around me, most of them were yanking themselves out of the pool, leaving me behind, along with several vacant donut floaters. "Help! Somebody help! I'm over here!" I frantically called out to anyone who could hear me. But when I looked at the people on land, all they did was whisper to each other and take videos of me as if they didn't care. So, I cussed in frustration, calling out to my parents, who were probably busy chatting with my relatives, unaware of my impending doom. Nevertheless, I paddled relentlessly, even if it seemed impossible for me to escape. Then, moments later, a life buoy was thrown at me, and immediately I clung to it until I was safe again on land. Witnessing the perilous sight of a sinkhole forming at the base of the pool, sucking in everything in its path. And then, I saw my cousin.
Oh my days. Well, yeah, I think the cousin's dead, but I wouldn't say that's really bad karma, but I feel like, wow, that was just tough. That was tough.
Who took a moment to glance at me before he completely disappeared, along with the floaters that were left behind. "Help me, Jake! Grab my hand!" Ah! His eyes spoke of fear. However, there was nothing else I could do. It all happened too fast, and I barely made it out alive. And that's when it occurred to me that I almost died too. To this day, I feel sick to my stomach, knowing that some supernatural force took my cousin away. But like the saying goes, better him than me.
Dang, I really feel him for that one. I am gonna tell you guys this though. That was tough. That was tough. But yeah, maybe if his cousin treated him well, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah, I left you guys on a cliffhanger, but I did it on purpose for this series, which yeah, is pretty cool. It's probably gonna come out next Friday. Well, yeah, it is. I don't know when I'm gonna schedule this video, but it should be the week after this week. Well, basically, bro, I am saying stuff so wrong. I don't know, but let's get to the other animation now.
Water park waves can be a frightening thing, especially for those that don't know how to swim. The next story was inspired by...
Trust me, I'm a black dude and I can swim a little bit, but I wouldn't count on it.
a real-life incident that occurred to the one and only Horror Shorts party. Yep, you heard that right. We never featured the channel, but we knew we had to include it as it was only fitting since this was a water park video. We decided to make the story a little more humorous, just to shed light on the one time HSP was almost a goner. Here's a dramatized version of his story. Years ago, I used to love water parks. The sad thing is, I eventually became self-conscious about my body when I was a teenager, so for several years I wasn't brave enough to go. But after I graduated from school, there was something inside of me that was dying to go down those slides again. I was still a really skinny guy, but I figured if I went alone, I wouldn't have to worry about being seen by anyone I knew. On a whim, I drove out to the park and bought a ticket. I was excited to celebrate my adulthood by reclaiming one of my all-time favorite pastimes.
My dude, you got a sack of rice here, right here. Like, can you get rid of that, please? And yeah, that's all I have to say. This girl, woman, you got a double chin. I don't know what's going on there, but you need to get a plastic surgery. I'm sorry. How to say it.
Unfortunately, there was something really strange about the water park that I didn't remember from before. Something that, on the one hand, made me feel a little better about myself, but also just weirded me out. There were so many fat people. As soon as I got in line for the security check,
Dang! Family Guide. Is this a Family Guide, crossover or something? I don't know. This might be a camel. I don't know, but that's kind of weird still.
It was the first and only thing I could notice. There didn't seem to be a single normal-sized person except myself and maybe one or two of the employees. But even they were up there too. I felt like I had to pinch my nose and hold my breath while waiting in line, or else I'd be crushed by the sweaty, smelly obesity packing into the confined space around me. It was...
My dude is covered by 500 tons of people.
so unreal to see the way that all these fat people interacted with each other physically. Instead of watching where they were going and making sure they didn't...
So we got these two out here crip walking? Are you out here crip walking? Nah, sucker, we're gonna pop
into things or other people. It was like they were playing bumper cars with their own waistlines. They would just blunder around, bumping into everything and everyone, only barely noticing that there was something in their way when it came into contact with their bloated bellies. It looked like some dystopian commentary film on our consumer culture, but I had to pinch myself to believe that this was, in fact, reality. Everything aside, I bared it and got through the security check. I was thankful to not be trapped in the aisles anymore and to have the whole water park to roam. But my problems didn't end there. Every single patron I saw inside the park was also grotesquely overweight. It was almost
My dude, you ate a whole car. You didn't digest it properly. And now, bro, you look like you swallowed a hot balloon. What's going on?
impossible to navigate the place. They took up the entire path and waddled by inches, always walking in a horizontal line with all their equally puffy companions, and never actually looking where they're going. I did what I could to squeeze by them, but they always took that as an insult and yelled stuff at me as I passed. Of course, they were never going to catch up with me. The first place I went was my old favorite water slide. It had been many years since I rode it, but it still looked just as fun as it used to. And no less, because the splashes that all the fat people made when they reached the bottom were ginormous, which made it look even more fun.
I'm sorry to pause it so many times, but can I just say that it'll be a big splash, okay? Like an earthquake kind of splash shot. I'll skedaddle while you still got legs. I'm on the ground. It's still strong.
Honestly, I was shocked that these people could even get up the stairs to the top of the slide. But sure enough, I was crammed between them for the entire weight. And of course, the guy in front of me, the most morbidly obese person I'd seen all day, went into the slide and got stuck halfway down. When the lifeguard saw that he never came out the other side, he immediately turned off the water and shut down the slide. Everyone in line groaned and started cussing, and I was pissed that I waited the entire line just for some fatso slob to ruin it for me at the last second. Everywhere else I looked, at every ride...
Kids, this is why you shouldn't eat too much sweets, biscuit, whatever you want to eat, bro. Cookie, I don't know. Just limit yourself, you see? You see me? Yeah, you can see the muscle. Limit yourself. Limit yourself. I'm going to be showing you a few workouts on my basketball channel, but that's what we're here for today, but yeah. Limit yourself, just try. You don't want to be looking like you swallowed a car or a hot balloon, like these dudes do. These suckers look bigger than... way big.
The entire park, I saw a large line of jiggling, flabby people who should have never been allowed to take their shirts off. Fed up with the rides, I tried to find a place that I could at least relax.
This is not a water park. This is Flappy Land. This is Flappy
Land. I made my
Land.
way to the lounging pool, the one with the partially submerged bar in the middle of it. My mood was already spoiled, and of course every stool at the bar was
Dang! Them butt cheeks though.
occupied by a person whose hind end was spilling over the side and floating on the water. Nonetheless, I squeezed my way in between two of them in desperate need of hydration. Hey, bartender, can I get some water, please?
Forget about him. I was here first. Serve me first. He doesn't need much water anyway. I mean, just look at him.
I was too shocked to say anything. The glutton already had 3 cocktail glasses in front of him, and by the stench that wafted out of his mouth with every word, he was clearly already drunk. And it wasn't even 4 p.m. The bartender tried to do the right thing and quickly pour me a water before asking the other man what he wanted. But even that didn't go over well. Before I could pick the cup off the bar, the fat ogre next to me snatched it with his sausage fingers and guzzled the entire thing. Then he looked at me with the same kind of grin that a 2-year-old looks at you with right after they drop a hot, steamy turd in their pants, knowing you're the one who can clean it up. And just to add insult to injury, He handed me the cup that was completely empty except for a few chunks of ice.
That should be enough for your little twig body, right?
I got away before I said something rude. Somehow there was a lump in my throat from how frustrated I was. I was just trying to have a good time, and all these disgusting blobs were ruining everything. And on top of that, I felt more self-conscious than I did when I was a teenager, because I had never been made to feel bad about being skinny by some lazy fatso. I was about to give up on the whole thing. I thought that I had obviously missed some sort of memo on this water park, because it seemed to be meant exclusively for fat people. The only hope I had left for the water park was their newest attraction, which looked like a really big pool with a fake beach on one end. I couldn't tell what was special about it at first, except that it hadn't been there the last time I was here. There were these little waves propagating through the water, but I thought it was just from the presence of hundreds of fat people sitting around wearing inflatable rings. I saw a clearing on the far end of the pool opposite the entrance and decided to make my way there, squeezing between the tightly packed sea of rubber and fat until I finally reached a floating boundary line. I was confused why this boundary was here, as there was a good 6 feet before the wall that I would have loved to have to myself. And then, all of a sudden, a siren started to wail. But instead of panicking, the ocean of people started cheering in anticipation for something. And that's when I realized that the wall I was looking at was not just a wall, but covered in huge panels that pushed the water to form waves. The whole thing retracted in unison, and before I could react, they pushed forward and sent a tsunami barreling through the water. I was immediately swept underneath the surface, tumbling through a horrible realm of fat, chubby legs trapped beneath the ceiling of hairy bulges and inflatable rubber tubes. They didn't even look like they were moving that much, but I was being thrashed by every single wave. I tried to break through the surface, but there wasn't a single opening I could squeeze through. They all must have been completely numb, because no matter how hard I tried to batter them to get them to notice there was someone underneath them, they just wouldn't budge. It was so dark under there too. I started to run out of air. Panicking, I tried to punch someone in the crotch, as I knew that would get their attention. But of course, all they did was reflexively knee me in the face and kick me away without even thinking twice. That knocked the last gasps of air out of me. And then, everything started turning to black as I drowned
I can't lie, that scared me. The light
in a
and
sea of people and blacked out. When I woke up, a fat, sweaty, greasy nurse lady was giving me the breath of life. I pushed her face away in disgust and turned over to expel the water from
my dude. No, my lady. I thank you for giving me the kiss of life, but not with your stinky breath. I'm sorry. Not with your stinky breath. Thank you.
It's one of the most painful things I've ever done.
Now, little boy. That's no way to treat the lady that's saving you.
Leave me alone, I'm calling the cops!
Show some respect. I should call the police on you, you disgusting peeping Tom.
I was in utter disbelief of the entire situation, incapable of thinking of a single thing to say. As soon as I was able, I got to my feet and started walking away at a moderately brisk pace.
You get back here! Somebody stop him!
I didn't even have to make a run for it. I knew there was no chance in hell of any one of those blobs keeping up with my walking pace. I've never gone back to a water park since that day, but at least I lived to tell the tale. This is the story I reference whenever people bigger than me try to tell me.
Oh.
I tell you, the people of this country are revolting, not in the way they should be. Hey, bartender, can I get some water, please?
No, sick, I cannot lie. So let's go to the second animation. Okay, this next one is called Nightshade Labs featured creature short film, and it's by Cryptic TV. Now, this is going to be a very good video, I can already tell, so let's get it. Gotti or Dottie?
Hey, you look a little pale.
I'm fine.
You're gonna enjoy this. It's really gonna open your mind. Best of luck, Jack. I'm rooting for you.
What's happening to my eyes?
Oh, face.
Please let me go. How long will I be? Please, please tell me.
Benjamin Ward, October the 2nd, 2053. Number 33 is waking from the Audric's dream simulation.
Alright, I'll stop
Results
there.
appear unimpressive. Jack, are you with me?
Ben?
That's right, very good. Memory and basic cognition seems intact. Let's have a look at you. Did we see anything interesting today? Don't be so boring, Jack. There doesn't seem to be any significant changes. Therefore, it is with regret that I must recommend immediate termination for number 33, Jack Ford. All brain beaten devil. Furthermore, I recommend that the society considers.
Sir!
What did you say?
Lady. This makes zero sense, I can't lie. Fuck.
Tell me everything.
I touched her hand. I touched her hand. This dude is insane.
Well, that's
You know what?
marvelous,
Just
Jack.
inject him. He's insane.
We're gonna need for you to head back in there.
How long will I be here?
Shh, just relax. Now we're gonna need you to do the same thing, but this time try not to wake up. We're counting on you. Best of luck, Jack. It's really bad.
Okay. That was a really good one, I can't lie. I didn't understand it, but it was good. Now for this next one, this is called a college horror story animated and it's by Llama Arts. So let's get it! Wrong way again.
It was an early morning. My campus didn't offer housing and I lived about a half a mile from school, so I started my journey as usual while playing on my phone. I glanced
So
up
it's a
to
black
see
guy,
old
let's
man
go.
heading towards me on a bicycle. Normally, I'd step aside to let bikers and skaters pass, but he braked instead. I stopped too, wondering if there was something wrong. He walked up to me and said, "Don't worry,
I mean, it's because you're black, bro. Sorry, I just had to put it out there.
I'm not gonna hurt you." I felt chills instantly.
My dude, back up before I KO you, your old self. Okay? I don't want to ruin that bicycle, but I'm sorry, it's gonna have a dent when I'm done with you. I'm sorry.
I didn't know what to think. I just looked up at him with a fearful and confused expression. I was gathering up the courage to tell him that I was late for class and I should go, but before I could say anything, he said, "Get off the grass!" Looking down, I noticed I'd stepped over towards the road and onto the grass. I stepped off slowly and he said, "You wouldn't want to step on any bugs or get your shoes dirty now, would you?" He raised his finger and asked me what my name was. I told him, and he replied, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you." The same chills ran through my body again, but before I could say anything, the man said, "Get off the grass! You wouldn't want to step on any bugs or get your shoes dirty now, would you?" I looked down to see that I was back on the edge of the sidewalk again. This had to be deja vu. He asked for my name once more. I said my name again, but he interrupted me before I could finish. He told me his grandchildren are down the road and needed gas money. I told him I didn't have any spare change or any change at all for that matter. He continued to ask me again and I gave him the same answer. Eventually I headed towards my school. I turned to see if he was still there, but he was gone. As I was walking, I approached the intersection. There was a truck on its side. It must have tipped over while turning the corner. That's it.
Okay, that was pretty good. Now for this next one, this is by Llama As again, and this is actually a following sequel to it. College Horror Story 2 animated. So let's get it. Why does it always do that?
Back when I was in college, me and my best friend Miko heard a rumor that our dormitory was haunted. I didn't encounter anything in the 2 years of staying there, so I was skeptical. I could see why the rumor started. Our dorm was kinda creepy, and Miko was convinced it was true. One day, I placed a hot cup of coffee in the sink and said, "If this cup magically empties itself by the time we get back from school, I'll believe you." "Deal. Wanna bet on it?" "Come on, you won't bet on it because you know you'll lose." When I arrived home, I noticed Miko was asleep. It seemed quite weird as he would normally be playing games or cooking in the kitchen. I put my bag on the table and noticed the cup
I don't
in
think
the
that's
sink.
Nico, bro.
I knew it, I said to myself. I started to pour the coffee away when my phone vibrated. "Why are you calling me?" I
It's not
thought
Nico.
perhaps he left his phone at school. I answered. "Hello?" "Hey, just eat without me tonight if you're hungry. I'm still at the store getting food supplies for next week. I grabbed some coffee. I noticed we're almost out. Oh, and I tried looking for that green sauce you put in your homemade burgers. No luck there. But, wait, another checkout just opened.
Oops,
I'll
my
cook
bad.
tonight. I shouldn't be too long. See ya." I was confused. My eyes darted around the room as I tried to gather my thoughts. That's when I realized something. I was too freaked out at this point. No.
Dang.
Hey, I hope you're hungry. Oh.
What? Yo, it's a shape-shifting monster. That's sick. Okay, guys. Oops. 1 second. Don't mind me. That was brilliant. Let's give it 9 out of 10 this week. Next week, don't be late. And I'll see you next time. Freaky Fat Friday.